Coming up, we're checking out some of the holiday offerings at Universal Orlando Resort. From Universal Orlando Resort, this is the Universal edition of the Dis Unplugged. The Dis Unplugged Universal Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Universal vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. The Dis Unplugged Universal Edition is also brought to you by disboards.com. If you're looking for even more information to help you plan your Universal Orlando vacation, head over to disboards.com and join the discussion today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Dis Unplugged Universal Edition. I'm your host, Craig Williams, joined alongside by my co-host, Ryno.
Hello.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode. First off, if you didn't hear us say it last week or whenever we said it, I don't even know at this point, we are coming to you at Universal Orlando Resort this episode. We got
That's the screams.
bunch of screamers on the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket right now behind us. So we are coming to you from Universal Orlando Resort for this episode because unfortunately I'm out of town and we can't do our studio show, but it all kind of worked out timing-wise because we are at Universal right now for a media event where we are checking out some of the holiday offerings that just started today here at Universal Orlando Resort. So we have a rough breakdown of our night, what we're going to be doing. So we're going to start off with, I believe, Universal's Holiday Parade featuring Macy's, which I don't know if anything has changed this year with the parade, so I guess we'll have to wait and find out in that regards. And then after we're done with the parade, we're going to head over to Islands of Adventure, where we're going to go check out the Grinchmas Wholiday Spectacular, one of Ryno's favorites. He loves that Grinching hour with the Grinchy Grinch. Everyone knows that. And then I believe our night is going to conclude with the Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle.
Yes.
Which is the castle projection show on Hogwarts Castle.
Yes.
So that's kind of the layout of what's the schedule. The schedule. Yeah, that's the schedule for what we're going to be doing, and so we'll try to pipe in when we can. At the very least, we might wait till the very end and then give you all our thoughts on all the holiday offerings, but. Yeah, that's going to be basically it for this episode. So watch along, see some of Universal, enjoy. So let's get to it.
lived just north of Whoville did not.
Oh, the noise, 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 noise! Curse that Christmas music! It's joyful and triumphant.
The Grinch hated Christmas. The whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be that his head wasn't screwed on quite right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. Ow. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
Bah, humbug!
Exclaimed the Grinch, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm, lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath.
And they're hanging their stocking!
The Grinch snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here!
He turned around fast and saw a small who, little Cindy Lou Who.
Santa Claus! Why are you taking our Christmas tree?
Awkward.
But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought of a lie. He thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little tot.
The fake Santa Claus lied.
You're not helping. There's a light on this tree that it won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. Oh, I'm rhyming again.
Santa Claus!
What?
Don't forget about the Grinch.
The Grinch, what?
I know he hates Christmas and is green with bad breath and smelly feet with shoes that are 2 sizes too small.
Ow.
But just because he's different, well, that doesn't mean he shouldn't get a present on Christmas. Good night.
And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started low, then it started to grow. But this sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry. Very.
Welcome, Christmas, come this way. Christmas Day.
Every who down in Whoville, the tall, the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came, somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags.
And he puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. Welcome, Christmas. Bring your cheer. Cheer to all who's far and near.
Christmas Day is in our grasp, so long as we have hands to clasp.
Christmas Day will always be.
Just as long as we have we.
Welcome Christmas while we stand, heart to heart, and hand to hand.
Oh, hey kid, wake up! It's your big moment! Come on, come on, come on!
Merry Christmas, my family.
are all finished with our media event, and I do apologize that we didn't actually bring you any updates throughout the middle of it. Unfortunately, we just really didn't have time. We were kind of rushed from one place to the very next.
Yeah.
So we couldn't actually stop to really talk in between an adequate amount. So
yeah.
I apologize for that, but we'll try to for the listening audience out there, I think this is ultimately going to be a little bit better anyways, so we'll try to recap everything here for you. So the first thing that we got to see tonight was the Universal's Holiday Parade featuring Macy's, and this was a unique one for me, and obviously not the first time we've seen the parade.
Yeah.
However, it's the first time I've ever seen the parade where there must have been a wind advisory out.
Oh my goodness. It was like at one point I was pointing because one of the donkey dragons was like straight up on people watching the parade, and I was kind of like, I felt bad, but I was kind of like, oh, that's funny. It's like in New York when the balloon gets away from them. It was very authentic.
Yeah, no, it was very authentic, but, I don't know how many times I've seen this parade, all the way back to when it was Macy's Holiday Parade, and so years and years, since probably 2010, I've never seen it where they can't actually have the balloons up in the air. So they were all...
Oh, they were. I wasn't even thinking. I was thinking like, oh, wow, the balloons are really close this year. And I think that's what it was. They were not...
Yeah, they weren't.
I wasn't even thinking they go any higher than that. That's crazy.
No, they're very high up. So I had my whole setup with my tripod with my arm that I can tilt up to get to them, and then parade starts and the first balloon comes by, and I'm like, this is low. And then I looked all the way down from our vantage point. We could see straight down the road as far back as you can get. And I'm looking in the sky, and there's not a single balloon actually up in the air. They're all close to ground level. I mean, so if the tallest person's 6 foot, whatever, we're talking just a couple extra feet off the ground from them. And like you said, in some cases...
it blew right into the crowd at one point. But I do think it was kind of cool because you're like, wow, these are a lot bigger than, like, I remember, or I don't know. They were close,
Yeah, no.
It's also the coldest it's ever been while I've watched this parade, because it's only about, like, 50 degrees right now.
Yeah.
And like Craig said, it was so windy that I was like, I can't type into my phone because my fingers aren't bending. Yeah. And I know that doesn't sound very cold to a lot of people, but it's a wet cold here.
Yeah. No, it did
start like sprinkling almost.
Yeah, and it did start sprinkling. So it was a very interesting way to take in the parade. Again, the parade didn't change from what I can tell at all from last year's version.
I like the parade.
Yeah, it's a good parade. I think ultimately, I think the main issue with it is, as we've been saying for 2 years now, the music is just like so low key.
Yeah. It doesn't have like big kind of triumphant moments in it really that much, or it doesn't have. Yeah, it's like. I honestly, like, thinking back, I can't even, like, think of the medley of the parade, to be 100% honest.
Yeah, and so that's obviously...
but I do enjoy it. I'm not a big parade person, so I do enjoy it. I will say that, though. Yeah. I'm not just saying that to be positive. I do actually like this parade.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get a chance to come out and see it in its full glory and stuff. See it the right way, see it with the crowd, see it with everyone else, with the balloons up in the air, but it was... really, really unique in that way. So from Universal's Holiday Parade featuring Macy's, we went over to a viewing of the Grinchmas Wholiday Spectacular, and
same as every other year. I don't think there was anything different, really.
The only difference is, was it last year or the year before where they finally transformed the stage?
It was last year.
It was last year,
was the first year of it,
Yeah, and I think, I don't remember... I know I went in one time last year.
I don't remember last year. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't remember if we talked about it on the show, because I think we would have went on hiatus before I had a chance to talk about it. But regardless...
It opens like a storybook. The stage, right? Is that what you're about to talk about, or no?
Not really, in that way. Okay. I was just saying, like, the show itself...
Oh, the show in general. Okay.
Yeah, the show itself is still the classic Grinchmas show. It was just the couple little tweaks here and there. Like the old show, Grinch always was all the way up on top of the mountain on the left side of the stage, and
now he's got like a little entrance on the side where they like slide him out with Max.
Exactly, and they have this one cool effect at one point in time where, I mean, it's not like a super cool effect, but there's some Who's back in their houses, and they have the lighting set up so you can see them inside the house, even though like other stuff is happening on the stage. It was. I mean, it's literally. It's
I
just
did not even notice
Yeah,
that.
it's. I'm really blowing it out of proportion. It was literally just.
I like that
They're
stuff.
in the background there, but that is that's part of the set that I think is a lot better. And our Max was going crazy.
Oh, this
he was
high
bark
energy,
happy.
Max. Yeah. I thought he was like barking at somebody in the audience, but I think the treat was like down low or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, but yeah, I will just say though, with this show, despite the change in set and stuff, something about this show just feels very.
I know it's different than it used to be, but it's like the beginning is a little awkward, and it follows the beats of the movie, but the whole thing kind of is a little bit awkward. I feel like there's not a lot of the Grinch in it, to be 100% honest, but then also he doesn't do any of his stuff except for like steal the presents and then whatever. Like he's not on rooftops at any point. He doesn't slide down chimneys at any point. You know, and they make jokes about that, but then it's like he kind of just slides in and it's like this. And I feel like they spend so much time with the Who's doing their weird, awkward number at the beginning that I feel like I want more Grinch than the Who's, but that's just me. I don't know. It's awkward. I think there's a little awkwardness to the whole thing.
And I don't beat around the bush on it. I am not a fan of Jim Carrey's take on the Grinch. I've been saying that for years now. So that's never really sat right with me with this show, despite the fact that I still recommend it because it is holiday entertainment, and it's not bad holiday entertainment, but
okay, so here's the thing. I am a big fan of that, but I also agree that I don't actually feel like the time has passed to be pulling from that now. They've released their own version of the Grinch. Like, I feel like maybe they should just kind of stick to like a more traditional storytelling of that, because it's almost a little awkward for that reason, because it's trying to be like the movie, but it's not like the movie.
Yeah.
So
heck, and I'll even say it too. I'm now at the point where I just don't think I like the Mannheim Steamroller score under the show. I don't like that electronic sound to it. It just, to me, it makes it feel more dated than it already is.
And nothing really goes anywhere with it. I don't know. I'm not trying to put anybody down involved with it or the show itself. I just think that it's come time to maybe like revisit it and give it a little extra pow.
Yeah, it's definitely what it needs. The people who are in the show are so insanely talented. I will just
the Martha May was really good.
Our narrator, I thought he was fantastic.
Good, yeah.
He was a very good singer. So I'm really not knocking it on that. It's just it really is down to the point now, the material that they have, having to deal with the music that feels a little dated, going with that Jim Carrey style that feels dated, fart jokes and burp
oh my
jokes.
God, it was all about his butt.
Yeah.
It was all about like pooping on things in his butt, and like I was like, all right, enough butt jokes. Like,
Yeah.
Not that I don't like a good butt joke, but
So I still recommend it, but
I think if you've never seen it before, it's a must do.
but it's time to freshen it up. And from the Grinchmas Wholiday Spectacular, we then went over to see the last Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle of the night, right at closing. And again, like everything else holiday entertainment-wise this year, there's nothing new to report with it. It's the same classic Christmas show that it is, and
I do like the show though.
Yeah, I agree too. You know, it's a great show. I wouldn't mind maybe next year or the year after seeing it freshened up once it hits that, because I think this is its third year now.
Yeah.
So it could, like, I'm not. The show's awesome. I just think that, you know, giving it a little tweak every now and then would be nice.
Well, it seems like they've kind of was this the first of the shows that we got here, maybe too, the projection shows?
Yes.
Yeah,
This
so
was
I
first.
feel like
then
this was
Nighttime
the
Lights.
beginning,
Yeah.
and so like they've kind of been playing around with it more. So now I think it's time that it's come around to be looked at again. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And not even maybe get rid of this. Maybe just add another version in, so maybe you don't know which version's going to play.
Exactly. That's I think is exactly where I was going with it. It would be nice for
It'd be
for a
cool
little
if
extra.
they did like 4 shows, and they were each different house oriented ones.
Yeah.
So it was like the traditions of each one of the houses or something like that.
But ultimately, it's awesome. And so what we got to see tonight was just we scratched the surface, really, in a way. I mean, we did get to see a lot, but We didn't get to do anything in Diagon Alley. You know, Celestina has her
got her
Christmas
special show,
set,
yeah.
and you know, we didn't really have time to take in the decorations in Hogsmeade. We definitely didn't
You know
do
what
that
would
at
have been great
Diagon Alley.
tonight? Hot butterbeer.
Yeah, hot butter beer. Even for me,
Even for you.
someone who doesn't love hot butter beer, I will admit tonight would have been the perfect weather for
Yeah.
it. And you know, there's so much more happening here during the holidays. You know, Blues Brothers do their holiday
yeah.
show. You have all the
Yeah,
entertainment.
the Grinchmas dining you can do.
Exactly, which I hear is like actually it's selling out pretty quickly this year, so very popular this year, as well as just all the other entertainment that's happening in Seuss Landing for the holidays.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just it's a good time to come to Universal Orlando. If you're here on the weekends, you know, you might see Mannheim Steamroller playing songs from the Grinchmas Wholiday Spectacular and some of their other classic holiday songs. So lots to see here at Universal Orlando for the holidays, and I'm sure we'll be back to cover a little bit more of it as the season goes along here. But that is our look at it for now tonight. So again, I'm sorry we couldn't update you a little bit more during the way, and we had to just sit down here at the end and recap it all. But hey, that's what you gotta do when we gotta do.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you all so much for listening and watching. If you did watch us on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe, leave us comments below. Obviously, no questions this week on that on this one because I can't read them here, but give us a thumbs up too. And then if you're listening to this on iTunes, you know, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, whatever form you have to listen to us, go ahead and subscribe and rate and review us if you can. But that's going to do it for us this episode. We will not be back with you next week with another episode
Oh, that's right.
because
It'll be Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Day, so you won't see us next week.
The
but
feast pheasant feast. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm trying to make a stupid joke and I can't.
it's a good joke. It's a good joke. But we will be back with you very soon for another episode of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. But until then, remember, we still haven't changed the name. Holidays.